In a shocking near-death experience, a man named Michael found himself face to face with Jesus. As his heart stopped and he transitioned into the afterlife, Michael was shown a disturbing vision that would change his life forever. Jesus revealed a devastating disaster in 2025, one that mirrored the tragic events of September 11th. This revelation left Michael with a message that would send chills down anyone's spine. What he saw was unlike anything he could have imagined, and it left him with a profound responsibility to warn the world. Let's look into what he witnessed, the lessons it carries, and why it's so important for us to take heed. Michael's near-death experience began with a sudden and terrifying event. One moment, he was in a car accident, and the next, he found himself standing in a realm beyond earthly comprehension. As his life flashed before his eyes, he realized he was no longer in his physical body. He could feel his soul separating from his earthly existence. In this moment, he felt both a deep sense of peace and a growing sense of dread. As he looked around, he was greeted by a calming presence, a figure of warmth and love, Jesus. Michael was not frightened, but he felt an overwhelming sense of awe and reverence. In that space, there was no time, only eternity. And in this space, Jesus was about to reveal to Michael a vision that would haunt him forever. Jesus explained that this experience was not just about Michael's death. It was a divine moment meant to show him something far greater, a vision of the future. As Michael's heart raced with curiosity and fear, Jesus began to show him the future. What he saw was terrifying and deeply unsettling. As the vision unfolded, Michael was transported to a scene that took place in the year 2025. The first thing that struck him was the chaos, a world in disarray. There was no mistaking it. Something monumental was about to happen. The skies were darkened with smoke, and the air was thick with fear. He saw towering buildings crumble to the ground, large masses of people running in panic, and the deafening sounds of sirens. It was eerily similar to the events of September 11th, but this was even more widespread and global in its scale. Michael's heart pounded as he realized the scope of what was unfolding. He saw cities, massive cities, being targeted, with large-scale destruction happening all over the world. In particular, he was shown a vision of a key event, a massive disaster striking one of the world's largest cities, leaving it devastated. The buildings were brought down with a force that felt almost unimaginable. The visuals were heart-stopping. People were crying out for help, but the damage was so overwhelming that rescue teams could barely respond. The sheer loss of life was incomprehensible. As he witnessed this, Michael felt helpless. He wanted to do something to stop it, but the tragedy was already set in motion. As the horrifying vision continued, Michael found himself again in the presence of Jesus. In a calm but solemn voice, Jesus explained that this disaster was a wake-up call, a warning. Michael was told that the destruction he witnessed was not a random occurrence, but a consequence of humanity's collective choices. Jesus did not say that the world would be doomed forever, but he spoke of a pivotal moment in history where humanity would need to make a choice. Your actions today shape the world of tomorrow, Jesus said. The path you are on, the way you live, the decisions you make, it all has a ripple effect. Michael understood that this event in 2025 wasn't simply about destruction, it was a catalyst for change. Jesus shared that this would be a time when the world would be forced to confront its flaws: greed, division, and disregard for the suffering of others. Michael felt an overwhelming sense of urgency. The vision wasn't just a glimpse into the future, it was a warning. Jesus made it clear that this disaster could be avoided if people chose a different path. But the clock was ticking, and the consequences of inaction were clear. Michael's soul felt heavy with the weight of the responsibility to deliver this message to others. The disaster that Michael saw wasn't just localized to one city or region. The vision expanded, showing him the global aftermath of this catastrophic event. The world would be thrown into chaos, with nations on the brink of collapse. Michael saw economies crumble, governments falter, and societal divisions intensify. The effects of this disaster would ripple across the planet, causing widespread panic and fear. In the days that followed the event, Michael saw societies coming together in shock and disbelief. People from all walks of life would be forced to face the consequences of their actions and inactions. The vision showed that, in the wake of the tragedy, there would be a pivotal moment for humanity, a choice to rebuild, heal, and grow, or to fall deeper into despair. The lesson was clear. Humanity's ability to respond to this disaster would shape the future of the world. Michael realized that what he was witnessing wasn't just about destruction. It was about the potential for growth and transformation. He saw that through the pain and suffering, there could be an opportunity for people to reconnect with one another, to rebuild what had been lost, and to start anew. But only if the world was willing to change its ways. After experiencing this overwhelming vision, Michael was again in the presence of Jesus. This time, Jesus spoke to him about the power of unity and compassion. Michael was shown that the disaster of 2025 could not be avoided by mere survival. It would require a shift in humanity's collective heart. People would need to come together, transcending the divisions that had torn them apart. They would need to be compassionate, to reach out to their neighbors, and to help those in need. The message was clear: unity would be the key to survival. Jesus urged Michael to spread the word that in the face of this disaster, the world would have a choice. Would people continue to live in division, hatred, and fear, or would they choose love, kindness, and cooperation? Jesus made it clear that the world had the power to choose its path, but the time to make that decision was running out. Michael saw the faces of individuals who had once been enemies, now standing side by side, working together to rebuild what had been destroyed. There was a glimmer of hope, a chance for humanity to rise above the destruction and come together in a way that had never been seen before. But this would only happen if people chose to live with love and compassion in their hearts. In the midst of the disaster, Jesus showed Michael that faith would play a critical role in humanity's ability to navigate the challenges ahead. Those who held on to their faith, whether in God, in love, or in the goodness of humanity, would find the strength to survive and thrive. Michael saw people coming together in prayer, finding solace in their faith as they rebuilt their lives. Jesus emphasized that faith wasn't about blind belief, but about trust in a greater plan. He explained that no matter how dark the days ahead might be, those who remained faithful would find the strength to endure. Faith would be the light that guided people through the chaos. Michael was shown that faith would not only help individuals survive, but would give them the hope needed to rebuild a shattered world. Evelyn's vision also revealed that faith would be a powerful tool for healing. After the disaster of 2025, the wounded, both physically and emotionally, would need faith to restore them. Healing, forgiveness, and reconciliation would require faith in something greater than themselves. Without it, the pain and suffering of the past would be insurmountable. As Michael's vision continued, Jesus shared another crucial message: the importance of personal responsibility. Jesus spoke about how individual actions could have far-reaching consequences. The disaster that Michael had witnessed was a result of many small choices made over time. Choices driven by greed, selfishness, and disregard for the well-being of others. Jesus urged Michael to spread the message that everyone had a role to play in shaping the future. Small acts of kindness, integrity, and responsibility could alter the course of events. People needed to understand that their actions mattered, not just in their personal lives, but on a global scale. Michael saw individuals making choices that ultimately made a positive impact, choosing compassion over indifference, generosity over greed, and honesty over deception. Jesus' message to Michael was clear. While the future may seem daunting, humanity had the power to change it by taking personal responsibility. Every decision made, no matter how small, could influence the outcome of the world's fate. As the vision progressed, Michael was shown the importance of society in overcoming the challenges ahead. While individual action was important, it was the collective strength of societies that would make the biggest difference in the face of disaster. Jesus showed him scenes of people coming together, working as one to rebuild and support one another after the devastation. Michael saw that the strength of humanity would lie in its ability to unite. Whether through faith, love, or mutual support, societies would be the cornerstone of survival. People would need to rely on one another, helping each other rebuild homes, restore livelihoods, and offer emotional support in the face of loss. Jesus made it clear to Michael that while the disaster of 2025 would test humanity's endurance, it would also provide an opportunity for people to reconnect with each other. The strength of the society would be the foundation for rebuilding a better future. As the vision drew to a close, Jesus emphasized the importance of spreading the warning. Michael was told to share what he had seen, not out of fear, but to inspire action. The world needed to wake up and make changes before it was too late. He was shown that many people were living in ignorance, unaware of the impending disaster. But it was not too late to change the course of history. Michael's heart was heavy as he realized the gravity of the message he had been given. This was not just about warning people of an impending disaster. It was about helping humanity shift its mindset. The choices made today would determine the future. Jesus made it clear that this was a pivotal moment in time, one where the world could either descend into chaos or rise above its flaws. The urgency was real, and Michael knew that he had to act quickly. The message was simple. Humanity needed to change its ways, prioritize love over fear, and come together as one. The disaster was not inevitable, but the actions taken in the coming years would determine the outcome. Michael returned to the world, forever changed by the vision Jesus had shown him. He understood that the message wasn't meant to create fear, but to inspire hope and action. The future was still in humanity's hands. The choices made today, individually and collectively, would determine whether the world would face the catastrophe of 2025 or find a way to avert it. Michael now feels a deep responsibility to share his story with others. The message is clear. Act with kindness, accept personal responsibility, build strong societies, and trust in faith. Only then will humanity have the power to change its future. If you're ready to join the movement of change, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more eye-opening messages about the future. Together, we can create a world where love and unity triumph over fear and division.